Hey y'all, it's David, the Georgia photographer. Got my coffee. Gonna be a good one. Let's do this. Okay, today's video, what I want to do is talk about the new Nikon Z50 and is it right for you? Or should you get the Z6? What I want to do is go over some of the perks, give you the weights and means or whatever you want to call it, of upgrading from, say, a entry-level DSLR like a D3500 or maybe a D5200. Maybe you got one of those and you want to upgrade that camera to mirrorless. You're already invested a little in Nikon glass. You know, you got the little DX lenses that come with it. Maybe you bought the 35mm 1.8 or something like that to play with a prime or two. You don't want to have to rebuy all that glass. So you're basically wanting to stick with the Nikon ethos, all right? Even if you're coming over from maybe Canon, there's a way to do that. Oh, got my notes. I got pages and pages of notes. Don't you love my handwriting? Back on the subject. Okay, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. I got a comment from a viewer about the Z50 and what would it be a worthy upgrade from a D3400? Well, it got me to thinking. I thought, yeah, right on the surface, I thought, yeah. But then I got to really thinking about it. Well, what are all of the benefits? And would the Z6 be a better choice? Because the Z6 is full frame. Let's just jump right into this. Y'all gonna have to suffer my reading glasses, I'm sorry. I gotta be able to see my notes. With the Z50, what you're gonna gain is a more compact body that has the sensor out of the D500 in it. It has a lower frames per second than the D500, so you're not getting that high frame rate the D500 gives you. So the bird in flight guys are probably not gonna be super interested in this camera because it's about half the speed of the D500. It's also about half the price. This is an entry-level camera for the enthusiast moving up from a cell phone or moving up from, say, a D3200, or they've got a D40X, you know, something like that. They want to get a newer camera, but they've already got a few G-series lenses and they just want to get a newer camera body that does a little more than what they have now. The Z50 is perfect for that. With the Z50 and that F to Z adapter, you're gonna get everything that the DSLR gave you, plus the benefits of a mirrorless camera, mainly of which is the electronic viewfinder. The Z50, if I'm understanding right, only has one card slot. I haven't looked real close, but I'm pretty sure it runs one memory card. It is an SD card. SD cards are cheap. That's important, because if you were to get the Z6, which is about $500 or $600 more currently than the Z50 is going to sell for, you also have to buy XQD cards for it. Then you can just get one for one Z6 camera and get by. One XQD card is like $100. They're very expensive at this time. So that adds immediately $100 to $150 to the cost of your camera, because you got to put memory in it. You can't just, unless you plan to shoot tethered, maybe it'll work tethered. You just got to add $100 to $150 to the cost of the camera, because without it, you can't work the camera. If you did go ahead and get the Z6, remember, they did lower the price. And they are throwing in the F to Z adapter. And they're selling at this price point. So don't expect them to plummet further in sales, because people are now buying them at this price point. As long as they're selling at a certain price point, Nikon isn't going to lower the price. With that, you have to concern yourself. Do I want to buy the XQD card? Do I want to run crop glass on my full frame camera? The Z6 will accept the G-series crop sensor glass, and most likely it will read it as a DX lens, just like the DSLRs will. Like my D810, if I put a DX lens on it, it puts it in DX mode automatically. The camera switches to DX mode. So you can immediately use the glass you have. You don't have to run out and buy a whole bunch of full frame lenses just because you bought the Z6. The next thing is that with that F to Z adapter, you can adapt the G-series glass directly onto the camera. But also, you can go to Amazon and get adapters to adapt a plethora of other lenses to this same camera. You can go to Amazon and get adapters and adapt vintage lenses to the Z-series, just like I do my Fuji. You can get a Canon adapter. You can put EF glass on your Nikon camera now. With the Z50, what you're buying is you're buying that shorter flange distance, which opens up a bunch of doors. If you like to shoot vintage glass like I do, that gives you a lot of latitude, okay? Right out of the chute, it gives you a lot of room to play and experiment with different lenses. Maybe you like the old vintage look and you want an EVF camera. You can have it. The next big thing is that EVF. When you understand the value of an EVF viewfinder, that electronic viewfinder changed my photography game, okay? Because of my aging eyes, I have to wear these to be able to see to read now. The problem with my D810 and my D200 and the D40, I can adjust the diopter for my eye and then I can see good. That part works fine. It's when I go down to the screen to review the photos, I can't see them anymore. Yeah, you can zoom in, but the whole screen is blurry because it's too close. So I end up having to get these out to be able to review my photos. With the EVF, you focus the EVF to your eye. You've literally focused the TV screen that you use to work the camera to your eye. You've eliminated the need for this. Honestly, it's a game changer. If I could have had that in the D810, it would be the perfect camera. It's that simple. So the value of that EVF, I can't speak highly enough for that. Plus, the ones in the Nikons, from everything I've searched on the internet and done my research on, are some of the best in the industry. About to strike 2 o'clock. Who is this camera for? It's for the wildlife photographer who is not trying to shoot like maybe birds in flight, but you could do that. It's not going to perform as quite as well as like a D500 would, but you could do it. Yeah, it's for the family member who wants to kind of document their family events. You could use it for like your kids' soccer games and things like that. It's not the fastest, but it's also not the most expensive. So, you know, if you're a budget-minded person who's wanting to get a new DSLR or mirrorless camera and you're not wanting to spend a mint on it, this is the way to play the game. You can jump into the game with this. It opens up so many creative opportunities that I don't know why people don't see this as an obvious solution. It really is a great entry-level camera. Nikon has paid me in no way to say the things that I'm saying about this camera. They don't even know I exist. If you want to know the truth about it, they probably have never heard of me. Point is that I see the Z50 and there it goes. I see the Z50 and the EOS RP, I think it is, for what they are. Great entry-level options to the prosumer or the enthusiast wanting to step up their game just a little bit more from where they are without having to drop $3,000 on a camera body. That's all I got. Appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. It's down there. If you have any comments about this video, leave them below. Without you guys watching and talking about it, what's the point? So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I appreciate you guys watching. And get your camera out and go take a picture with it. All right? We'll see y'all. Bye-bye.